Let's hear from the coach. This is Behind the Beard with Bobby Smyrniotis, Forge FC head coach and sporting director. Now, the woman who takes us there, here's Mackenzie Barwell
Computer's
on
back.
the Forge
Computer is back,
Audio
and you know
Network.
what?
Rough weekend?
I have an excuse, actually. I'll have you know.
Thanksgiving?
Yes, so picture me yesterday coming back from my Thanksgiving dinner, whatever,
Nice.
all is well. I actually took my parents' car, left mine at home because shout out my dad for getting me an oil change.
Yeah.
Anyways, I leave my keys at home,
Yeah.
come back to my house at school, realize the keys to my room are on my car keys. Can't get in.
That's how it usually goes. Anytime you change your car, especially in a hurry, there's always something.
Something's
in
gonna
there. Keys,
go wrong.
Wallet, laptop.
So the excuse, thank goodness I had my computer,
There you
but yeah, my Forge notebook, my Forge gear, all in my room. So that's why this is actually what I wore to
Where's
my
your
family
CONCACAF gear?
Thanksgiving. It's in my room. Everything's locked in there. Okay.
Okay.
Did you do anything for Thanksgiving?
Did
You
I
were
do?
here obviously on Monday.
I was here on Sunday as well.
Oh.
We had the Forge Youth Festival. The teams playing.
Yes, actually I saw that.
Yeah. So I was here watching the young kids play U12s.
How was that?
It was fun. It was good.
Was
It was a little bit colder on Sunday than Saturday, but it was all around. It was a great day.
Yeah.
And then, once I left here, did some rounds at my parents and
nice.
in-laws
Yeah,
for
yeah.
some different types of dinner.
Okay.
At
What's
both.
included in that in a Greek Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh no, it's pretty standard.
Pretty standard.
Yeah,
Okay.
prime rib, turkey.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but ever since you talked about the rotisserie like pig thing over the
Yeah.
fire, that's what
Yeah.
I've been picturing.
we had that at my in-laws.
Okay, see, there you
There
go.
you go.
Pretty standard. Pretty
Yeah.
standard. Okay, that sounds like a success.
So,
And was there also Thanksgiving dinner here for you guys?
yes,
on
there was.
Monday?
Yesterday on Monday.
Okay, shout out Sodexo. That
Yeah.
was actually really good.
Great mixed vegetables, mashed potatoes, stuffing, turkey,
Yeah, the whole
gravy,
thing.
pumpkin pie.
I was literally watching the game from 7, eating that
There you go.
on Saturday.
Fantastic.
Okay, obviously not the result that you want on Saturday,
Yeah.
but after the game you talked a lot about, the reality of the situation, the kind of team that Forge is, and knowing at the end of the day there was one team that needed the result and another that didn't. So looking back, what are your thoughts, and is there a little more, I guess, leniency when it comes to a result like this, knowing that that's the situation?
Yeah, you don't talk about it too much in the week leading up, even amongst the players. But like I told everyone after, I kind of know how these games go.
Yeah.
It's Saturday was about a celebration of what we've accomplished over the regular season for the players. And I think, one team is leaning that way and another team is playing one of the most important games of the season. And so long as the game rolls and, the game is tight, and I mean at 0-0, things move along. Once you go down in a game like that, then you're asking for some effort from the guys. And I'm not going to say that they don't want to give effort, but sometimes, yes, you don't.
Mhm.
It takes a little bit extra when it's not needed. And that's the reality of it. You see that across global sports when a team has clinched something and they're waiting for something next to come. There's that little bit of moment where you exhale.
Yeah.
The pressure of any game, not this game, but any game, because every game brings pressure, brings levels of stress. Sometimes you don't want to be part of that. So it's at the end of the game we knew that, but Saturday was mostly about what occurred after the game. Mostly for the players and the fans, and that's what I say. It's an important thing to recognize for our players, because that's hard work that they've put in, and it's great to celebrate something else with our fans, and that was a great opportunity to do, bringing them down on the field, having them all close by. And then, you get that out of the way and you keep on moving on. And we got one more game this weekend that, to be honest, it's a little bit of the similar fashion. Pacific must win the game. We're traveling across the country to play, and, we'll have our game plan for the game, and we'll deal with it the way it best suits us to get us prepared. To keep on moving forward and get ourselves ready for the playoffs.
I'm trying not to interrupt you, but I don't want you to answer all my questions before I get the opportunity.
There you go.
We'll talk about the shield lift in a second, but
Yep.
to your point, Alex also talked in the press conference, and he said that Forge are the kind of team that really play well and show up when their backs are against the wall. So with that in mind, how important is it that the team does stay motivated and maybe feel that sense of pressure in situations where that's not really the case, or should that be what it is?
You can, and I said this in the press conference, you can look at it a million different ways.
Yeah.
We could win out the last couple of games of the season. Everyone will say we've got this great momentum going into the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. In 2023, who was the champion of the CPL? Forge, correct?
Didn't win the regular season.
No, it has nothing to do with that. What are the results of our last 2 games of the regular season?
I don't know. I don't remember. Not great.
2 losses.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's the route you want to take, but to be honest, once you're done and we're done, we're at 50 points, we can stay at that. We can get 53. It doesn't really matter. The trophy is here. What matters is going to be what happens in the playoffs, and that's the most important thing. And I think Alex may have phrased it in the back against the wall. It's not so much back against the wall. It's when we know we got to win. We usually do a good job of winning. That doesn't mean it's automatic. Okay. And that's the one thing you talk to the guys about. It's we've got that mentality in us. Now, that doesn't mean that it just happens. Just because it's happened in the past doesn't mean it happens in the future. But this is definitely a team when, we know that you need to get something done, it gets done. We're also a team that we know some points in the middle of the season, when there's a lull, we drop some easy points somewhere. This isn't a 2024 thing. This is something that Forge has been doing since 2019, always with their eye on how to get the prize. Yeah. And we've gotten the first one. Now it's about getting the second one.
Yeah, well, Alex shared a similar sentiment. He was asked how confident the group is facing Ottawa in the playoffs, knowing that team is the only one in the league to have beaten Forge 3 times this season. And he said he was asked a similar question in 2021 or 2 when you had been successful against Pacific the entirety of the season, and then playoffs come and you lose.
I'm almost positive in 2021 in the final that's the first time Pacific could beat us in 3 years.
That's what he was saying.
So what does it matter what the record is before? It does not make a difference in the world.
Going back to the game against Ottawa, though, there was a brief moment that you were able to have with the guys after the game, in between the final whistle and when you came out to lift the shield. So what did you say to them in the hallway there?
Yeah, just mostly because, at the end of the game, it gets a little bit hectic, chaotic. There's stages being built, everything. I just wanted to have a quick word with the guys and just reiterate to them how, proud I've been of them and what they've done, and to make sure they enjoy the moment. It's just a moment for them as players and a moment for them to be able to have with the fans and to enjoy that before we move on to what's next.
Yeah.
And I think that was just an important thing to tell the guys, and we enjoyed it.
No, 100%. Because I saw them walk in, and I think you could tell that their mindset has shifted from the time they had the conversation, from the time that they walked out. It's a really good shield lift.
Yeah, there you go.
We got a pic too. We should make it a thumbnail, actually.
Yeah, we should.
Why didn't you tell me to take the credential off my jeans? By the way, horrible.
Off your jeans?
So I forgot my credentials, so I put the sticker on my jeans. I looked at the photo. I was like, this looks.
Oh, I thought you said I told you to. No, I didn't.
No, I wish you would have. But it's okay. There's a few things going on for you.
There you go.
I'll show you the photo actually really quick. See how distracting it is?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure somebody in here can
we'll edit that out
Photoshop
for sure. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. Now looking at this game against Pacific, obviously they are in 5th right now, and if they are able to close it out, they'll stay there. But Vancouver and Valor are still in the race. So we've talked about this in previous weeks. How beneficial is it knowing that entering the playoffs, you're getting the best out of every single team in the final games of the regular season?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think, in one way you see Ottawa and Cavalry, they're having to play out these games and making sure they're sharp because they're playing for that coveted second position, which is an important position to be in. We know that from last year. Gives you a lot of possibilities, not only towards the championship, but also for a position in CONCACAF. So that's important. And then, at the back end of things, it's you want to be playing these competitive matches. It makes sure that it keeps us sharp as well for the game. We're not going to play a game where it means nothing to another team. This is their season. It gives them life for another 3-4 days. From Saturday's game, I think the first playoff game starts on the Wednesday midweek for the 4th against 5th.
Yeah, right? It does. Yeah.
So we know that then that's going to create an atmosphere, and the better the atmosphere, usually the better game it is for us. So we hope that, they've got a good crowd because that gives energy to everyone.
Mm-hmm. I was actually going to ask you about that 4-5 game because York are confirmed hosting that one in fourth. They've solidified themselves there on the Wednesday, 23rd, I believe, at home. What are some of the pros and cons to playing a midweek game entering playoffs? Because I know potentially on how everything unfolds, you could be playing an opponent from coming out of that game.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. I don't want to be in that situation. It's tough because you have to flip the switch very quick.
Yeah.
Right, and then depends on if you're fourth, you're at home. If you're that 15, you got to travel. We saw that last year with
notice probably.
Yeah, we saw that last year with Pacific. What was it? They won one game and then had to travel right across the country. Yeah. I forget, it was within 2 days to play another match.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, not
ideal.
I'd like to deal with. But
maybe you don't need to familiarize yourself with
that.
It doesn't seem like it's necessary.
I'm gonna try and stay away from that thought.
Okay, good. I want to go back to what you were saying earlier about how it's interesting how you can look at it in different ways, knowing that okay, sure, maybe you get a good result and the team puts in a big performance this weekend, but then you could just as easily not continue that momentum in the playoffs or vice versa. Maybe you take this one easy and then all of a sudden you're super sharp the first round. So with that in mind, is there no particular real approach or angle to this and it's just show up like Forge?
Correct.
I'm just starting to answer my own questions at this point.
You kind of know what I'm going to say.
Well,
yeah, because we can talk in cliches and about this and that. And the reality is it's this game that doesn't mean a lot to us is a lot different than the game that's going to be played here on October 27th, which is do or die, which means you win that game, we secure a final game.
Yeah.
That's a different switch that's on with the players. That's a different level of commitment to what you do. And in the end, that's what let us down this past weekend. It's that switch and that little bit of extra effort, a little bit of extra fight on certain things. That sometimes it's normal not to be there, especially if the head is thinking about what's coming next.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. You mentioned again in the presser that, for a lot of these guys, 40% of their mind was in what's happening afterwards, and that in that context was referring to the shield lift. But could the same be said for this weekend?
Yeah, everything is wide open.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think, the guys aren't happy with the performance. They know where it comes from. So I think, the most important thing is when you look at these games is you want a good performance. And that's what I always talk about. It's about the performance. The result is a byproduct of it. And sometimes it's not going to go your way. But it's about making sure that we've done the right things in the game. And then what comes of it, comes of it. And I think, that's the one thing that the guys, spun on their own just in discussions is that, you know what, yeah, we know what period we're in. We know what we've done and great, but we got to make sure it's a little bit more.
Okay, last one. You said it there, how important and how much is weighing on that game in the 27th compared to this weekend. So how do you navigate organizing training and how does that change?
Yeah. And when we talk about the importance of the games, I asked you a simple question. What was the result of our last game of last season? And you had no clue.
Yeah, right? That was.
But you know what the result of our last game. I was going to
edit that out.
You know what the result of the last game was?
Yeah.
Because that's the ones that matter.
Yeah.
The ones that matter were the clinching of the shield and then what you do in the playoffs. After that, nobody's going to remember what our record was, what anything was, and that's the beauty sometimes of sport. Maybe for this year we'll remember, or next year we'll remember, which you didn't even remember 1 year later.
Hey, can you stop exposing me on that, please? Maybe the digital host is supposed to know the results of the team.
Down the road, what will people remember? 5 trophies.
Right.
For now.
Okay. For now.
Right? Now you hope you add to that, but that's the most important thing. So.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna play fill in the blank, so I'm gonna say a sentence and you have to. Now, this isn't really there are no right answers here. I was trying to figure out.
Is this one of those games you made up, but you don't really get all the rules down? I don't
actually know what's going on. It's one of those that we just figure out as we go.
By the way, there was another one of those games on Liam's board, though. What team are you?
And what was it?
Which it took you about 5 minutes to explain to me, and I still had no clue.
What was it today?
It was about Thanksgiving. Shoot. It was last week.
Was it like the meal?
Yeah, but it was very random. So there was good stuff in like each team and some bad stuff in each team.
I got to get the photo of that so I can...
All right.
We
can play your new game
Fine,
now.
fine. We'll play my game. I don't know if it's gonna be as fun.
Okay.
You just actually maybe we'll both share an answer. Okay.
How are you going to share an answer? You know what the question is.
I don't. No. It's all subjective. Like you can answer. For example, I can't stand blank. Share what you can't stand. For me, olives.
You're serious?
Yes.
You're sitting next to a Canadian Greek, and you're telling me you don't like olives.
Sorry, that was probably not the best answer I could have given you.
Better not say olive oil.
No. Sorry, I love olives.
Sure, there's olive oil somewhere in here too.
Probably.
For salad. I'm not a very negative person. So
Okay, but that's like you don't have to be negative. Like me not liking olives isn't necessarily
it's
a negative
towards all of southern Greece.
Sorry, I know you were offended by that, but for the average person,
I'll try and think back.
I can never leave the house without
cell phone.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's nice.
Oh well,
it rules our world. If
We
you
don't
send
need
me a
to get all-
message and I don't reply in the next 30 seconds, what's going on?
I was panicking.
There you go.
I didn't
See?
get a response for 15
Right.
minutes today, and I thought, game over.
Yeah.
If I could time travel to experience one major event,
Ooh.
it would be
Yeah, I don't know if it's a specific historical event, but I'd like
or
to
a time
go.
period.
Yeah, I'd like to go into ancient Greece, like the pinnacle of ancient Athens.
Yeah. Okay, that's
I don't know
a
if
good
I'd go to
answer.
Sparta because it's probably
I don't
little
know.
bit too much death going on
You'd
around
have
there.
to, like,
Right?
yeah.
But see the growth of democracy, philosophy, and all
Mhm.
that stuff.
You just
that'd be
visit one of
great.
my lectures, actually.
Have some
It's
olives.
like time travel. Great.
Have some olives.
No, I support you in your
Greek
decision.
honey.
That
Yeah.
would be good.
Oh, there you go.
One thing you would bring to a deserted island is
One thing.
can't be a person.
Ah.
Because I think we've played that before with
I was
the
thinking because
players.
I got to be careful here. My wife doesn't get upset.
Yeah. No, it would be her. It would be her.
So
obviously.
one thing I would bring to a deserted island that can't be a person.
And it can't be like a phone, because that
No.
defeats the purpose.
I don't think you have service on this
Okay.
deserted island. But... I mean, Tom Hanks had Wilson.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it?
No, what is it?
Have you seen it? I have. What's it? Castaway. Yeah. Castaway.
Okay.
So I was going to say my youngest son for sure would take Wilson. You know Wilson? Well, it's a volleyball.
Oh, Wilson's a volleyball?
Yeah, it became his friend as he was on a deserted island after a plane crash.
Okay,
Yeah.
clearly
It's pretty
I need
sad.
to do...
Pretty sad when he lost Wilson.
Oh, that's devastating.
My,
I'll
young-
watch
my
it.
youngest son cried a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what? People are getting really mad at me for not having watched a lot of classic films
Yeah.
and TV shows. Like someone commented, I can't believe you don't watch The
I
Sopranos.
think if you have a ball with you could, throw it against a rock, play catch, throw it up in the air.
Okay, if you could master one skill in, like, right now.
I'd like to play an instrument,
Yeah, that's a good answer.
maybe like guitar or a piano.
Yeah.
I think with either one of those, you can do a lot of different things.
How about the strangest job you've ever had?
Strangest job I've ever had. To be honest, I haven't had many, but
No?
I was selling model airplanes in a mall.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You were selling model airplanes?
Yeah, it was like these airplanes you put together. They're like paper, but you build them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to get paid a lot of good money.
A lot of money for that,
Yeah,
eh?
it was a neighbor of ours, and he was backing some artist or somebody, and he had one of those booths in a mall.
Oh, yeah,
And he
yeah.
just turned to me one day. He's like, "You want to come work?" And he told me how much it was an hour.
And you said,
back then,
absolutely, yeah.
pretty sure the hour rate back then was like $6.85, and he was paying me $20 an hour.
What?
Yeah. So
Wait, $685?
Yeah, $6.85.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he said $20 an
Yeah.
hour for the model plane gig.
Yeah, it was like 2 months during the Christmas season. I don't know.
That's funny.
I knew nothing about it, but I was the guy that was taking
Yeah, he
people's
seemed to
money
have put
for
a
it.
lot of trust in you, eh?
Yeah. I don't even think we sold
You're
much.
that guy. Probably
Yeah.
not, eh?
No.
You're trying to like just walk through the mall and
Yeah.
Bobby comes up to you. Excuse me, can I tell you about my planes?
Well, I was talking to nobody. I was just sat there.
I think maybe stick to what you're doing now, though.
Yeah. Well, that was many years ago.
Hey, episode 25 next week. Maybe it'll be.
Olives.
Maybe you could interview me. Huh?
Olives. You
You
learn
start
about
asking the
olives.
question. Okay, we're gonna stop.
Do you really want me to start asking the questions?
the?
You got to think about that.
That's a great point because every time you ask me a question, I feel like I blank and I forget everything.
Yeah.
We'll talk next week.
That's what my kids feel like too sometimes.
Cut the cameras.
This has been Behind the Beard with Mackenzie Barwell and Bobby Smyrniotis. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.